Hi there everybody and welcome to the watch channel. Today we are going to be taking a look at a watch that I have been pretty excited about for quite some time. I ordered it about 7 or 8 days ago and it arrived here yesterday. So I've unboxed it, had a bit of a fiddle with it, adjusted it, and I am pleased to report that I think it is the best watch that Pagani have released in recent times. It's this one, the PD1762, which is the Polar Explorer 2 homage. Now, the V3 is somewhat different to the second edition, mainly those changes being that it is reduced in size, so it now has a 40mm diameter case. It now contains a Seiko NH34 automatic GMT movement, and this is a big one, it's got decent lume. I'm not joking, it has got decent lume. So, without further ado, let's flip the camera around and take a look at this watch. But before we do that, if you do like the content, please do consider giving us a subscribe and a like. It would be greatly appreciated. So, let's take a look. Guys, one thing I forgot to mention in my video was that there is an anniversary sale coming up on the 20th of March. The store that I got mine from, which I'll put a link in for you, says there will be a substantial discount on this V3 model. Well, let's start the video looking at the dimensions of this new V3 model from Pagani Design. So you have a 40mm diameter, which is slightly reduced from the 42mm that you saw on the version 2. You have 43.5mm when you include the crown, 47.6mm according to my calipers from top log to bottom, and 12.3mm of thickness. No point in beating about the bush here, guys. The lume on this watch is much better than what you would have seen on the V2, in fact on any Pagani design watch. So it does have BGW9 lume applied to it, and it does work. So questions answered, guides. I've put some footage up for you so you can see it, but yeah, pretty good. Here's a bit of wrist action for you guys. So again, that V3 is a 40mm diameter case, down 2mm from the V2, and in my opinion it really makes this watch look a lot better. The V2, in my opinion, certainly on my wrist anyway, looked a little bit like a pie tin, whereas this fits a little bit better. You do have a sapphire crystal there with anti-reflective coating as well, and apologies for that Magnum PI shirt. One of the things I love about this watch is that stainless steel bezel. You can see they have the black enamel paint there, but it's really clear, very easy to read the 24-hour time, and it doesn't move. Now I actually have a Seamaster GMT from the Pierce Brosnan Bond era, and the bezel on that thing moves so easily. It's really frustrating, but obviously no problems with that on this particular watch. Here's some footage from the V2 video that I did originally. You can see there the clasp on the V2 has got those push buttons on it. Unfortunately, they did decide to go with a fold-over clasp, very similar to what you would find on the Rolex model for the V3. This is one of those occasions where I think they've probably gone a little bit backwards on the model. I would have preferred to have seen the V2 clasp on the V3 casehead. Some more macro footage for you now, guys, and it's starting off with that clasp. You can see the Rolex style bracelet clasp. It does have the Pagani design engraving on it. You have solid end links on the back of the watch as well, and you also have that nice milled clasp. I am pleased that they didn't go with a full copy of the Rolex. And water resistance on the watch is 100 meters. You can see there you do have a screw down crown, and it is finished rather nicely with that Pagani logo. Referring back to the movement on the V2, it was a Pearl DG movement. I personally have not got any issues with it at all. I think it was well finished, and in my opinion, or in the model that I have, it has been very reliable. See, now this V3 version does have that Seiko NH34A, which is considered to be much more reliable, but again, time will tell. It does have a 41-hour power reserve though, and beats at 21,600 beats per hour. One point to note is that the NH34A movement is a Chinese-made time module instruments version. You can see there on this schematic the signification or lack of Japan up on the top of that rotor indicates that it was not made by the Seiko factory in-house. Another couple of differences between V3 and V2. The V2 actually had a longer hour and minutes hand and also had a printed Pagani logo on the dial. In V3 you do have a shorter hour and minute hand, but you have a longer GMT, and the logo on that dial is it's an applied dark metal. Another point that I wanted to make was that the Cyclops on the V3, again only according to the model that I have anyway, certainly is better than what you found on the version 2. It is a little closer to what you find on the Rolex at 2.5 magnification and is clear to read. So where does that leave us, guys, with V3 over the V2? Well, the V3 in my opinion has got some pros. First of all, the lume. That has always been a massive bugbear of mine with Paganis. They have fixed that now, and hopefully, God willing, that they will do BGW9 across most of their models. You also have that Seiko NH34A Movement, which is going to be very reliable, and you have the 40mm case size. With regards to the cons, not too many to be honest, and minor pickups if I'm going to be completely frank. The first one being that clasp. I do prefer the V2 version over the V3. I think it's a bit of a step backwards. And the price. Again, it is a new model, so it is going to be priced higher than the older one, naturally, but do expect that to come down. So, would I buy it? Yeah, absolutely. Well, I did, and I can recommend it. The one thing I will say, though, is it does make me look forward to V4. So guys, please put in the comments section what you think. Any thoughts, comments, always greatly appreciated. Thanks for taking the time to watch the video, and I wish you all the best. Take care, guys. Bye.